You're listening to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast.
Ah, yes, you remember this hole.
Hey there, and welcome to the show. Today on the Classic Gamers Guild podcast, you know what? We never did pick a name that was easier to say, did we?
No. Actually, we didn't even pick the name. Oddly enough,
that's true. It doesn't roll off the tongue. Not that I'm even thinking of changing it. We're in too deep now. It's just every single time I try saying it all the way through, I always mess it up.
I like CGG Pod.
CGG Pod works really well.
What's the CGG mean? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's a thing. We talk. There's adventure games, and today we're talking about holiday adventure games, or games we like to sort of play at this time of year. And by this time of year, I'm thinking a combination of winter's coming in, Christmas time, New Year's, and other holidays. Paul?
Hanukkah. Yeah, that's right, Anna. Exactly. I got one for it too. I got one for all of it. But before we start, I'm doing a PSA about the Phantom Fellows. This is a call to action, listeners. I need you. So something. I'm losing steam immediately. No, if you've played the game, see, I fear that Phantom Fellows is at slight risk of being a little lost in the shuffle. There's been 350 adventure games this year. It's been, and it is. I dare say, an honor to be a part of what is probably the greatest year for adventure games in modern times. Like this year is just
amazing.
Yeah, it's phenomenal everywhere you look. So for the game that I worked on for 4 darn years, I'd sure like more people to play it. And if you guys listeners have played the game, especially if you've played it on GOG, I could really use some GOG reviews. So if you've played it on GOG, please leave a GOG review. Unless it's going to be a bad review, then please don't. That's counterintuitive. But if you've liked the game, there we go. I should cap it with that. If you like the game and you haven't reviewed it yet, please leave a review on whatever the platform. I just so happen to really need some on GOG right now because that'll make it visible and analytics and blah blah blah. And then otherwise, if you played the game and you had a good time, I could use some reinforcement. So if you guys played it and enjoyed it, if you could hop on like any of the Facebook pages, like, Point and Click Fans Unite and those kind of pages where they're like, hey, I played this game, you guys should check it out. I could use some cheerleaders, man. I think that's what I'm trying to say exactly. I could use some cheerleaders and some people out there to champion the game and tell other people that, hey, it's like a fun time and maybe they should check it out too. That would be awesome. I would really, 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 really appreciate that, guys. And if you do, you could even tell me and be like, I did that. And I'll be like, oh my God, thank you so much. So that's my thing, my little spiel. And now we can start the show. But another thing I want to say, it has nothing to do with Phantom Fellows, is Adventure Game Geek, Anna, I'm bringing you back into the conversation by saying your name to you, asked me the other day, he's like, what is the deal with the rubs the nipples line in the beginning? And I realized I'm not sure we've ever really told anybody. And if we did, we said it like once at the end of an episode, 70 episodes ago. So and it's not just the nipples hard thing, but every now and then I'll mix it up and throw a different one at you guys. Those are all authentically Gary Owens, which I have to now clarify because of the Space Quest 5 patch that we covered that has just an awesome AI Gary Owens. But no, that is the real Gary Owens, and the ones I'm putting in the episodes come from deep within the bowels of the Space Quest 6 resource files. They were just unused. Many years ago, when I was like being a nerd with like batch files and building 486s, and I clearly needed a game to make, but I didn't have one yet. I would decompile Sierra games and go through audio files, I guess, for some reason. And I found, man, it's I don't know if that's cool or sad when I say it out loud.
It's amazing, actually.
It's both. Yeah, I think it's both. But anyway, I'd come across those Gary Owens files and that's that. So there you go. Good old, who loves a good origin story before a holiday episode,
Yeah, that's good. No, and I never thought people would make that, connection potentially, because of course most people haven't heard him say those phrases before.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So there we go. Now, not just the Space Quest 6 or SCI companion aficionados. No, but everyone does.
Because I bet you a few of our listeners did already know. They'd be like, obviously.
Toad sobs. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Sorry
no,
for
for
saying
sure.
that. That was my bad. Yeah. Let's
So it's
trying it out. That was a mistake. Immediately retiring that one. Okay, so we're on to holiday season. We're gonna mix this episode up and do like a combination of games that we think make good games to play.
Mhm.
Starting off strong. A curation of games for your consideration to play during the holiday times. And then the other half of this is going to be, in no particular organization, obviously, is going to be just games that we personally associate with the holidays. Because,
Mhm.
I figure a lot of our listeners by now have just, I don't know. I lost confidence in that sentiment. I'm going to bail on it. So, Anna, what do you want to start with?
Well, I didn't realize first off that there had been so many adventure games coming out this year till I came across a list recently provided to me, and I was shocked because I went into this list and I was thinking I've played all sorts of games there, but there were so many games that I'd never seen of or even heard of, and the most intriguing that I came across was a winter haunting because this young girl gets to take over a historic mansion, and there's mystery and supernatural forces and point and click game, and it's, I don't know, like it's a little bit like a find game, like a point and click find and connect inventory items and do puzzles, and it's like it's an adventure game. You can go from room to room and walk around, and I highly recommend potentially giving it a try. I haven't yet, so I can't say it's a good idea to
Wow.
like just go off and play it because
You're
it was on the
farming it out.
list.
Terrific.
Yeah, it's on the list, and I thought, this is really suitable because a winter haunting, wintertime,
Okay.
holiday themed episode.
She likes the title. Okay, fantastic. Like if somebody could play this for me and let me know, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
you guys heard it here first. A winter haunting is possibly a good time.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually, I gotta look it up too.
See, it's already got one.
Yeah, nice. Well played. Adventure game. What's this look like? All right. It looks cute. Oh, an adventure in the making is the name of. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and just make a game instead of another one instead of playing any. But
we're good. We're glad of that because we're all waiting for another one, please.
If I wasn't, no, it does. It looks cute. It's not pixel art, but it's got a good personality.
It does. It's not that I prefer blondes or brunettes. I just prefer pixels.
Yeah, exactly. Hard right edges, angles in their hair.
Baby. Big fan of 80s. They had the hairspray that would pull that off.
Yeah, Aquanet Pink. That's the smell of the 80s too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is. So yeah, that's my first one. That's I can't say any more about it because I haven't played it.
Actually, I think the smell of the 80s would be the smell of cocaine. Whatever that smells like. That's
I don't know what it smells like. I was in the 80s as I was a child.
It's a mix of indoor smoking.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was familiar. Oh my God, everybody smoked inside in the 80s. Like everywhere I went, it was in restaurants, it was in people's houses. People are holding babies in one hand and a cigarette in the other, and an ashtray on their pregnant belly. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, and we're all sort of fine. I mean,
we're
arguably not actually, but we're good.
We're fine. Okay.
Yeah.
We're fine.
We're good enough.
As fine as anybody listening to this show. I mean, we're all fine enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I guess I'll just say something now. Next.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, for sure.
Terrific. Okay. Well, listen, my list isn't the strongest list of Okay. Here's how I'd like to start my segment here. There's not a lot / any holiday classic holiday adventure games at all. There's none. There's none that are Christmas. I mean, unless there is. And then you can tell me at some point later, and I'll be like, damn, you showed me. But I don't think that there's any holiday-related games at all. Like, not a single classic adventure game that takes place during Christmas in an overtly Christmas sort of way, which is weird.
They don't want to do that because it would limit their sales to one time of year, and they need all the sales they can get.
Oh, that's very good. Okay.
It's just a guess, but it makes sense. I was sitting there thinking about it, staring at a Space Quest box and thinking about seasons, and it's like,
Right, that's a great point because there's something about spooky games you can play them year round because it's a vibe, but a Christmas game you'd only want to play during Christmas, right?
yeah. I don't even like Christmas episodes. It's like flashback episodes. I'm just like, oh,
Right, because it doesn't feel, yeah, it feels out of place any other time of
yeah,
year. That makes sense.
shoehorned in or whatever. So
And there's another thing too. I'm not sure this would be one for the listeners to call me out on, but to my, I don't know. I can't find any classic adventure game that's snowing. There's snow in King's Quest V, which yes is on my list. Yes, only because of snow. I'll defend that later.
there is,
But there's no active snowing in any classic adventure game.
but not active snowing. But there is snow in Quest for Glory 1. There's a snowy pass, and you can't pass the snowy pass because the snow is in the way. So it is that time of year, this time of year.
Okay, but it's not snowing, right? It's just on the
there's
ground.
no snow in the air. In fact, Stardew Valley, they get like rain, and they get seasonal weather, snow and rain and stuff.
Actually, wait, can you think of a classic adventure game that rains? Was this a processing issue?
It might have been, because it would really fuck up the frame rate, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
What about Thimbleweed Park? Is there rain in that game?
No, but that kind of breaks the classic, like the processing compute power element of it. Just because it's new, even if there was, which I don't think there is. I feel like in one of the ransom flashbacks there's wind and maybe rain. I'm not sure though. But yeah, now I can't think of a classic adventure game that rains either. That's really interesting.
It takes up, because when in Stardew Valley, when it rains, if I'm playing on a laptop or a slower computer, the whole game gets a little bit choppy.
Interesting. Huh, right. Okay, so that's +1 for the processing issue with rain in a classic game.
Blade Runner,
Weird.
did they have rain?
Jeez, you know what? I don't know. There was wet streets, but I don't know if it actively rained. That's weird. I mean, now rain's a thing. There's rain in Kathy Rain. There's rain in Phantom Fellows in the last day. But more to the argument of computing power, I can't think of any 90s, let's say, or older game. Well, okay, yeah. So anybody, to the listeners, if you can think of a classic adventure game from before the noughties that rained, tell us.
Yeah, I'd like to see if that slowed down the frame rate at all.
Yeah. Okay.
I swear, Blade Runner's the closest. I don't remember. Maybe Grim Fandango, maybe. Oh, what about Myst? I bet there was rain in Myst. I've never played it.
No, I don't care.
I don't know otherwise. I actually, those are mostly guesses, but they all seem feasible.
I feel like, yeah. It's really interesting about Blade Runner because, I mean, the streets are there's definitely like puddles everywhere and like wet streets, but I don't think it actively rains either.
I don't know.
I'm looking at, I'm sorry, I had to pull up screenshots for this one. Okay, no,
Yeah.
I see rain. I see rain.
So there is rain.
I'm just making sure it's not the remake. But yeah, this says 97 next to it. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think there's rain in Blade Runner at least, but that's 97. So anyway, yeah. We could leave that there. Okay, sorry. So I'll reel us back into the point being is that there's not a lot of even snow. Because I can't think of, I really struggle to think of games that had snow in them besides King's Quest V, and now you bring up Quest for Glory 1 or Hero's Quest.
Hero's Quest.
Weird. Okay. Well, I'm going to pass this back to you. Well, I might as well say King's Quest V I put on the list because of the snow, because you spend a significant amount of time in the game in the snow, and it does create like a holiday sort of vibe. And I like King's Quest V a lot. I like, you know what it is? I like King's Quest V a lot for its vibe.
Yeah.
Like there's something about, I like the idea of it maybe better than it, which, is fair with any King's Quest game for me. Cause I don't have the nostalgia for it, but I really like the adventurous spirit in King's Quest V. Like it feels you're on this grand journey and And I know you arguably are in most of the other King's Quest, but for some reason I get it way stronger in 5 than the rest of them, and it gives you this cool. I don't know. If you have a fire lit and you're playing King's Quest 5, it's immediately a cozy vibe. There's an Ice Queen. I don't. Do you need more than that? There's Ice Bella or whatever her name is. So
Isabella.
is it? Oh, is that right?
I don't know. Isabella.
Isabella.
Yes. Mortadella.
Morte cattivo. Was she bad or is she good?
I don't remember. Can you roll your R's?
Yes. Arrivederci. Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, no. That's okay. Good. I just wanted to know everybody can do that.
Right. Yeah. And then people that can't get very frustrated about it. It's like watching somebody try to wink when they can't.
I know. It's like, yeah, exactly. Like that. So, okay. Good. Is that your choice then? You're good? You've got your vote locked in?
No. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
I'm going to take it then.
Okay.
Okay, here's your holiday recommendation from the CGG podcast. Pull up an old humongous entertainment game with your kid because they're going to hit every age from 3 years old up to 12 years old. If you're pulling out your Freddy Fish, your Putt Putt, your Pajama Sam, your Spy Fox, and I think that's a fun way in the holidays to spend time with the kids and the family, and even the adults have fun. And there's still a little bit of thinking, like maybe you remembered what to do 15 years ago, but you don't remember anymore. And so I highly recommend just like pulling out Pajama Sam, playing some Thunder and Lightning Aren't So Frightening with the fire going, or if you don't have a fire, maybe the lights on, or change the color of your atmosphere, open up a window, grab a cup of hot cocoa, and just enjoy the holidays with the family, playing some fun adventure games and figuring stuff out together, because they're all out there on Steam and stuff.
Whatever you do, don't leave regular lighting on, is Anna's point. You have to, you got to get the dimmer switch activated.
Yeah.
Go on Amazon. You can get a 2-pack of LED flame bulbs for $20. It's just immediate vibes. Love those things.
Changes everything.
This has turned into a serious, vehement recommendation. And if you have wall sconces, especially if they're like any sort of transparent stone or whatever, oh, they look so good. Makes it look like this medieval castle vibe all throughout your house. They're so cool. So
nowadays you can get wireless lights. You don't even need a real wall sconce. You just buy a fake one, you stick it to the wall, and you put in lights that, you recharge yourself or whatever, and it'll glow. Like, there are so many options for portable lighting nowadays. And if you've ever played the Phantom Fellows, that lighting is extremely important around here.
Yes, exactly. You never know when you're going to have to describe it thoroughly to anybody around you.
I do recommend that. Look at every light and touch every light with every character, because, it's important to get a description of them all.
Yes, exactly. You can break the main character's spirit by doing so, too.
So, yeah, that was my recommendation. Pull up a kid's game with your kid and play it. And all of the humongous games are really just super easy and accessible. Ron Gilbert was involved. There's no reason not to play them.
Yeah, Anna said 4 to 12 or whatever. I would extend that to at least 60 years old. They're still a lot of fun. I don't know if they're fun alone, but they're definitely fun with a kid. I still play them with my son. Just the other day, Sherman was in the back of the car, and he reminded me of like a year ago how he solved a puzzle in that game that I couldn't solve. And man, like he's still just,
I remember that. Aww.
Right? He's still so proud of himself, and he was like, "You were really proud of me for that, right?" And it was just so adorable. Like, just completely melted me. Like, oh my god, like that was like a core memory for him. It turns out. And yes, there we go. That's what I'm trying to say to the listeners. Like, you have the opportunity to create like core memories around adventure games. There's nary a better thing to do than that. Maybe it's nary. I don't know. I've only typed that and put it in a game. I've never said it out loud.
I think it's nary.
Right. Okay. Okay. So let me build on Anna's suggestion there, because I had one too, which was, and I mentioned this maybe even last episode, but at least to you guys before, so I'll try to keep it somewhat shorter. But every year on my birthday, I play a Space Quest game with my kid. I did. It was last episode, because I was saying we're going to play 5 this year, which we are because it's voiced. And I was thinking about this episode earlier today. I was like, I would like to formally recommend that to our listeners, to anybody that has a kid of really almost any age, maybe like under 14, because then they kind of are, don't they stop, they get a little disgusted in you from those ages onwards. But like any kid that'll sit down with you and indulge you, let's say. And even if this isn't a holiday recommendation, maybe you could do it on your birthday, listener, because it's your birthday and they kind of have to do what you want to do on your birthday. And you could be like, for my birthday, I want you to play an adventure game with me. And it's a really, I don't know, it's a really wholesome, fun time because you're going to be so into it that it doesn't matter how not they are.
It's true.
And you get to just drag them through the mud with it. Like you're sitting right the fuck next to me for 6 hours while we beat this game from 1989, whether you like it or not. And you can beat a good attitude into them, basically.
That way.
Or at least break their spirit and they'll give up. So,
browbeating.
Yes,
means, of course.
Right. Well, either one, honestly. But
that's why our kids behave so well.
But it's become I maybe this is potentially confusing too much. So my birthday is Christmas Eve, which as a Jew, all my siblings are half siblings and they're not Jewish. So we had a very Christmassy growing up. But what I'm trying to say is it's a huge ripoff. Because you got Hanukkah and Christmas, everybody's just beating you to the punch. Nobody can remember your thing. And growing up it was a lot in a very Jewy area. Like all the Jews fled. Yeah, there we go. They would all go on vacation around Christmas. So nobody was around for birthday parties. This is turning into a weird pity party for me. What am I actually trying to say? The Christmas Eve is the worst birthday to have, first of all. But second of all, it works to my advantage in the sense of you get to light the fire and have this Christmassy vibe with your tree in the background. I do have a Christmas tree because Jewish holidays are just sad and depressing and yours are awesome. So any Hebes out there, if you're into it, what I recommend there is you take a menorah and make that the star on the tree. That's what I like to do. So the menorah becomes the star and it's just a nice little weird hybrid. Anyway, point being is that if it was confusing that I keep kind of blurring the line between birthday and Christmas, that's why. But I would just want to recommend to people to force your kids to play adventure games with you. The younger, the better. You can indoctrinate them that way. Strummer's been doing it since he was 3 or 4. And now it's just a thing every year that we play a thing. And so I'm saying if you have a young one, start the thing. You can start a thing. And if you don't, you can still force it. Oh, yep. Right. And so for the sake of the podcast, my thing is Space Quest. And that's a little bit of a mixture of picking one of your favorites and also hopefully something that they'll enjoy a little bit, maybe too. Yeah. Okay. Your turn.
All right. So my holiday recommendation next is Anna's Quest. And here's why. Because 2 years ago...
I mean, you can stop there. We know why. But go ahead. Sorry.
It's not just in the name. 2 years ago, I broke my leg at about this time of year. And so I was stuck with the holidays being laid up and healing and not being able to really participate in the festivities. And my good friend Ryan, who's a fellow admin in the CGG non-podcast, the Facebook group, well, it's podcast too. We're all connected. But the point is, words are hard.
Yes.
He gifted me this game. So over the Christmas holidays, I played it. And it's really cool. You're this girl named Anna and you've got telekinesis, but you kind of have to learn to use your powers throughout the game. It's done by Didactic. So Edna and Harvey, a bunch of those other games. But you get a baby dragon. There's unicorns. There's black magic. And then there's Anna. But it has hotspots and adventure game stuff going, and it's highly recommended. You're kidnapped at the very beginning and you kind of get to escape and go off from there. So it was just a fun, light game with a dark humor backbone that I didn't expect. Most enjoyable.
Most I like that. Most enjoyable. That was super rad. Yeah. Most.
Yes. But yeah, 2015. So that's when that one came out.
Are you saying the studio's name the right way and I'm saying it wrong?
I'm Daedalic.
Daedalic, yes.
Daedalic.
Yeah. Okay. Doesn't matter. It's fun to play with words. Plus, these are all names we've never heard out loud. So who really knows it? And I think that one's German because I think
you read German. Them. It is. They are. They all are.
It is. They are.
They are. It is. They are. So fly. Yes, go on a quest this winter with Anna.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. Nice.
Your turn.
Okay. It's a shame that one's not pixel art too, because it sounds like fun.
It's cartoon, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just looking at it again here now. Right. It's got a very day deal that vibe. Same
Yeah.
as like Deponia and all that.
Hmm.
Um, Neato. Okay, well, the next one I would bring up is okay, this is more of an honorary mention, but there's a fan run, well, a community run set of games in the AGS community, Adventure Game Studio community called Christmas Quest, and there's a bunch of them, and they're done by they're a collaboration effort from the community, which is a poor way to explain it, but it gets us there, gets the job done, and I would recommend checking them out because they're quick and free and breezy and kind of fun, and immediately look, we're wanting here for any sort of actual Christmas vibes in
Yeah.
adventure games because there's not many, um, and so I would recommend that. There's a couple of Christmas Quest games. I fooled around with I think the third one um, a while ago when I was messing with the port on my phone for it, and it was fun. They're always a good time. The community always has like a very adventure gamey sense of humor in general with community projects, and so I'd recommend that. There's also a Santa's Quest one that I just now noticed and have no idea about, but that's worth mentioning. Um, and then that's kind of all I've got for Christmas here. I've got other things to say. Don't get me wrong, but that's like as close to on the nose as I can possibly get with the actual subject of. No, that's not true. I have a Jewy one too. Um, should I throw it back to you, or was that too short?
No, you. It's up to you. If do you want to say more?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. You little
I'm
bitch.
ready then.
Okay.
No, okay. I'm going to jump right into the Heroes of Might and Magic series. So go ahead, play number 2, play number 3, play it in hot seat, play it with the family. Get 6 people together, join in, kill off other AI if you have less than that, and then kill off each other. Like we'll meet. Sorry,
It's
it's my
okay.
ringtone, but it is the in from Shapir from one of our listeners that and he gave that to me as a gift, and it is the absolute best ringtone ever. So I assigned it to my husband. We can carry on now, but that is the only time I will let people hear my phone ring on the podcast.
I don't think I have to edit it because it's from a listener. So now it's like,
It is.
yeah, it's
It
perfect.
is.
Thank you. That was
Yeah.
selfless of you to keep that on there.
So yeah, that I just want to say, yeah, go ahead and play that because you battle. Everybody goes on it. We meet on an island. Like we'll get a predestined point, and then we'll meet there, and then battle royale when everybody's able to congregate their army and get them all with one team. So there's no better way to show love to your family during the holidays than to kill all your enemies and then to find the true ruler and the winner of all. And we bring our friends in, we bring other family members, like anybody that shows up, we shove this game in their face and say, okay, what do you want to be?
Hmm.
So games like that, I guess when I'm thinking about holidays, I'm always thinking about people getting together. This game is nice because you're playing independent together. So each person gets their own turn. They can form their own ideas, create their castles. And the hardest part is figuring out who everybody else is. So if there's only 3 of us and there's a bunch of AI, it's like, are you orange or blue? And then you'll accidentally take like your partner's castle or something. Anyways, it's a fun way to just hang out with the family. If you want the pixels and the prettiness because you like classic games, go for number 2. But if you want it to be a little bit more 3-dimensional, but not so 3-dimensional that it hurts your eyes, go to number 3, which is really the standard classic and sort of the one you'll spend the most time with. Get the version on GOG, get it now because they're doing a preservation thing right now, and they're going to be losing some classic games soon. So
Oh, really?
don't wait. Yeah, I just got Warcraft 1 and 2, and you get a discount when you change your currency and you put in a game code. But yeah, System Shocks and Heroes and Empire Earth and just a bunch, Blade Runner.
What do you mean they're losing games?
Oh, I don't want to get into this on the podcast episode. I should wait.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now I really want to get into it. Sounds dramatic. What the fuck?
Because I don't know enough. But anyways, some of them, the GOG preservation program, certain bundles are leaving the GOG store for whatever reason. But what they're doing is they're not taking away our ability to still have them because they have the offline installers, and they're giving you a discount if you go to buy them.
Okay.
And they've done improvements and special things to the game that weren't there before. So they've put up articles that write the progress of how they were able to make the games work well for modern systems and the changes that they made and the things they put back into it. So you got to get on GOG and read about it yourself.
Right. Panic, fear of loss. Get there now. Got
Yeah.
it.
No, immediately go.
Yeah.
Go.
Like
Go.
it's it just started to snow here, so that's a nice little vibes for the episode. Very cool. Okay, so are you good? Did you might in magic enough?
No, I might in magic enough because yes, I have others, but I will let you, sir, now have a turn.
Awesome. Okay, so I've got a good one. So this is a game I've played with Strummer a lot every year as well. Not the last few years, but for a good 5 years in a row. I would love to say on the first night or on the last night of, but during Hanukkah, we would play the Shiva from OneShortEye. As a matter of fact, we played it so many times that the last time we played it, we played the original. I think it was just Dave Gilbert, like solo man version of it, like the I don't want to say prototype, but just the original version. It was really hard to get. I had to download this like 80-90 gigabyte sized AGS archive torrent just to find the Shiva in it, which was worth it because there's a bunch of little gems in there too. But anyway, Shiva is perfect for all my Hebes out there. So we've got a game. Thank you, Dave Gilbert, for really, jokes aside, it's really cool to have a Jewy game. You know, we're and I get why there's not. We're vast minority as far as numbers are concerned. I mean, that's how minorities work. But ducking and weaving here a little bit. I don't even want to get into that. Point being is that there's not a lot of Jewy things out there just for us, and it definitely gets steamrolled over by Christmas and Christmas vibes and blah blah blah, because Christmas is way more fun of a holiday. I get it, but especially if you have any little kids at home, little Kyle Bravlovskis who are just feeling like a lonely Jew on Christmas, then this is like the it's the perfect little, I don't know, antidote to that, I guess you'd say, as an adventure game fan, to have a game that's centered around a rabbi. It doesn't really get much more Jewish than that.
And it's quick. It's just it's not exactly a skip in the park either. It's a deep game, but it's a quick game.
Yeah, exactly. It's it strikes a really nice balance. I feel like I want to say 3 hours, something like that.
At the most. Yeah. I mean, it is tricky, right? There's a few puzzles that are kind of difficult to figure out. I have actually played this game. So.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. All the way through in sort of one long day session where I just kept coming back to it.
Right. Because that's the thing. It's one of those games that I think the temptation is to be like, oh yeah, it's like, 2-3 hours. But if you're playing it without a walkthrough, it has the potential to be a quick game, but I feel like it does actually take some time if you're going to get through it yourself.
If you're playing it with a walkthrough, I swear it's like an hour long. There's not a lot. I think it was like a first game or something. So for them.
Yeah, exactly. I probably even should know, but it was definitely Wadgetai's first game. I don't know about Dave Gilbert's first.
I think it's Dave Gilbert's first game. As far as first game that he actually released, yeah. I mean, we had him on the podcast. We talked about it.
Right. And the version I speak of, the original version, it's almost like there's a Dave Gilbert version and then there's a Wadgetai version.
Yeah.
That gets, a ton of polish and upgrades in every department, let's say. But anyway, if you're a Hebe and you haven't played the Shiva and you listen to this podcast, oy vey, what is wrong? You're Mashugana. I don't understand. What else do you want? So check out the Shiva. It's super fun. You can even get it on mobile for some reason. So. Yeah. Oh,
apparently, okay, his first commercially released game was that, but his first game in development was The Repossessor in 2001, which was an entry in that, remember, the Reality on the Norms that we talked about by that Ben Crawshaw guy.
Right, exactly. Yahtzee. Cool. That's cool.
Okay. Well then, so my next game is back into the spirit of co-op, but we're going to talk co-op together. So that's Stardew Valley. I've been playing this game ever since it came out in 2016. My son's played it. His friends have all played it. I've had a few people in other places play it with me. I'm kind of obsessed with the game. I have the guidebook. I have it signed by Carrie Fry and Concerned Ape. And it's a great game. It just came out with new updates. There's new islands, there's new places to go. You put in the mods, and this game is actually playable forever and ever and ever. So, you and your kids can play it all in the same house at the same time. You and your husband can play it. You and your wife can play it. You and your neighbor can play it. You and your neighbor's dog, maybe, if they're smart. I really don't know. You can do it on mobile, but okay, they've released the update for mobile, but they didn't unlock the multiplayer. But if you do the Konami code on the leaves, left, right, BA, start that, you can get a video on how to do it on YouTube. You'll unlock the multiplayer mode. Then you get your other friend that has it on mobile to unlock it on theirs. And okay, it can be a little bit buggy and laggy sometimes, which is why, but it does actually work. You and your friend can sit on your mobile phone side by side and play Stardew Valley together, or in another part of the world at the same time together, as long as you got good internet.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Anna's all about some Stardew Valley.
I am. I have in my account, there's a lot of hours, at least 1,000 hours or something, many hours. But I share it. I mean, I used to share it with my kid, so.
There goes my phone. Sorry about that.
Yours isn't as interesting.
To OneShortEye in the future, I couldn't answer because I'm recording the podcast.
Oh, that is interesting. That makes it interesting.
Right, there we go. An adventure tie-in. See, it's all, I guess, relative. Okay, so you Stardewed.
Yes, all over the place.
Gross. Actually, well, depends.
Might be tasty.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's a star fruit in the game, and I always wondered what it would taste like.
Ah, nice. You veered us right out of the comedy direction it was headed in. Yeah,
it's
thank
fine.
you for that. Very
You're
good.
welcome.
It's just, because I'm drinking Freshka right now, which is already just a cloudy white drink.
It's very cloudy and white. But, imagine if you had, we're going to stop now. So what's your next recommendation?
Good call. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, was it a good call? Who knows? We'll never really know what she was about to say. It was definitely dodgy, though, so good. Okay.
It was definitely dodgy.
Okay, well, I'll stick with Wajidai. And actually, I've only got 2 left, just so I guess everybody knows, including Anna.
Okay, I only have one really essentially left, so.
Perfect. You'll be the meat in this little sandwich then. Don't sexualize that. Let's just keep. I know. I said meat too close to the other thing we just said. You should.
Sure.
You'll forgive her. She grew up on Leisure Suit Larry. We're gonna keep it at Wajidai with Blackwell, because Blackwell, albeit not holiday, has a very Christmassy. See, I spent a lot of time in New Jersey, New York area growing up, and snow and Christmas is definitely officially magical in the Northeast. They nail the vibe there better than anywhere else I've lived. Which, I mean, yeah, and that means something, because Colorado is very snowy and stuff, so it has the potential. But there's just something about the New York, New Jersey area in Christmas time that's just super. I don't know. It's why most of the Christmas films are filmed. Well, it's probably Rockefeller Plaza. There's a reason they're filmed there, but it just has a good vibe, and Blackwell has that New Yorky Christmas vibe, and there's animated snow falling, as we said in the beginning of the episode, where that's absent in classic games. It's a matter of fact, it's I think the only game I can think of, adventure game, that I can think of that has active snowfall in it. And it's got a really cozy vibe to it, the Blackwell series. I've only played I've played the series each one time many years ago. It's something like I'd say that I'll revisit one day, but probably won't, because there's 1,000 games I need to play that I haven't. But anyway, it's a good right. Cozy vibe. I like that game. So, yeah,
yep, that's a good call.
And it snows. That's the reason. It snows. Look, it snows. So.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was looking for.
You're welcome.
Now that you've oohed it, we can move on. Thank you.
Good. So I've touched on this a little bit, but yes, please do play through the Quest for Glory series every single year. And if you line it up correctly, because you'll be starting with the first one in January, you'll be at the fifth one by the time December comes, which is the one that I always associate with this time of year because, well, right now there's been some amazing speed runs happening with it. So go look at the speed running board because they've been out there killing it. I think the game can be finished in like 21 minutes or something. That's absolutely insane. And my son speed runs it. Him and I just finished playing it together recently, and he's almost 30 now. Obviously it's got heavy sentimental vibes from when he was a kid, because this is just the game that he spent the most time with. So this is what happens. So you've got the plan. In January, start Quest for Glory 1, work your way through every 2 to 3 months. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 starts in January or in December, and then you have the month of December to complete it. So that's why it's a holiday game.
Wow. I mean, you need some grease to shoehorn that one in. That was impressive. Jeez Louise.
I told you I would. I told you I would, though.
Couldn't even hear you spraying WD-40 on that, wedging that motherfucker in this episode. Damn.
It's in. Yeah.
My God. Okay. Wow.
Because if you do it right, you hit the fourth one at in October for Halloween time. Because it's all timing. You're trying to hit certain games at certain times of the year. Because in January, when you start the first one, there's snow.
I'll give you
February, March, you'll get to the second one. April, you're getting to like desert stuff. In the second one, in the third one, you're in Africa because it's summertime. In the fourth one, right, like I said, it's snowy. You get the Halloween vibe and Katrina and vampires. And then the fifth one at Christmas. It works the whole year. It's the Quest for Glory year.
Yeah. All right. You gained a little bit of a cred back with the happenstance of October in the fourth game. Fair enough.
Right. Yes. Okay. So what's your final input?
That's I'm okay. I'm pretty much done. I'm just gonna say that honorable mentions to like Gemini Rue. That has I guess I'm starting as this episode goes on, starting to attribute like just those rainy stay inside vibe games too, and anything that makes you feel like cozying up at home. And Gemini Rue definitely has that cold, I don't know, yeah, like light a fire sort of vibe to it. Same with Unavowed. Play a Wadget game, is I guess where this has been headed. But my last pick really was Thimbleweed Park, probably because of association. And I want to say this to listeners now, because I hark on about this game a lot, because it's one of my all-time favorites, man. I love Thimbleweed Park. But if you've played it and you're like, dude, please stop, I'm not playing it again. And you haven't played Dolores' little mini side quest adventure, then that's in my official recommendation, let's say. I'm officially recommending instead the Dolores side quest, because and listeners can take the spirit of this and apply it to any game in your mind right now. But like any game that has a cozy small town vibe, that's I think that's the articulation I've led myself to down this path in this episode, is when it has a small time. Dang, I keep saying the wrong word. When it has a small town vibe, there's something just inherently cozy about that, where it's like familiar faces and like, yeah, I don't know. I can't put it much better than that. There's something about the my God, man, that's 3 in a row. I'm 0 for 3 on saying small town. Yeah, anyway, I like it. So play it or don't. And I'm done. I should have been done the last one, to be fair, but it's cool.
It's okay. You're okay with it now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I'm not editing it out, so I do regret it, though. And you
do.
Yeah, I drug everybody through that unnecessarily. But it's okay. It's only been about 3 minutes if I stop now.
Perfect.
So, okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah, get us out of here.
Yeah, no, we're good. So yeah, anyways, thank you so much for checking out our recommendations. We've had a really busy weekend, and I am so pleased that we're able to share an episode with you at all the other day. And you guys can look this up. OneShortEye has an alternative channel on YouTube where he posts other videos when he does runs of games and things like that. And a bunch of us in the adventure game Hotspot, Space Quest Historian and Joshua and Gareth and OneShortEye and Adventure Game Geek and Paul and myself, and we all got together and we voiced through day 4 of the Phantom Fellows. And if you haven't watched the other days, it's okay. You can just jump in. It's in and of itself. It's sorry about that. In and of itself, it's fairly contained, and we explain the few things that aren't. So that was definitely a good time. And then you had family and other celebrations and things happening too. So
Yes, indeed. I would say if you haven't played Phantom Fellows, don't watch it. But if you have played it, then watch it because the voices is fun and we have a lot of terrible, gross jokes to supplement it or whatever. But yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. I guess there is some spoilers.
Yeah, exactly. Preferably play it first, but who doesn't matter.
Who are you to say?
Exactly. I want to say too for listeners, coming up, we have a deep dive on Quest for Glory with Anna and
Jason. Yes, he. I'm so terrible. I haven't had a chance to ask him how to properly pronounce his last name, Mikal. He does. He's been currently writing a book, Questing for Glory, and he's connected in with the Coles and is just a passionate fan of the series. And we're going to talk a little bit about his childhood with the series, and how he came about wanting to write about it, and a lot of background information about the game that people wouldn't know about, especially you, Paul, having not really played them.
Listen, guys, let me reconstruct what Anna just said, because it's gonna be a Quest for Glory centric episode. It's not gonna be like an interview necessarily with Jason. We're definitely gonna. Anna loves the personal side, as we all do. It helps with storytelling. Get to know how he fell in love with the games. But what he's really bringing isn't a slog of a backstory about somebody you don't know. Is more what a dick, I'm sorry, but if you were a listener, you'd be like, I don't know, I mean, who's Jason? Do I want to hear about his childhood? Like, no, what he's really bringing.
See, I'm so interested in every individual person.
It's hidden. See, guys are interested in things, girls are interested in people, just generally speaking. So for all the dudes out there, you just dried right up. Don't worry, we're going to get into details about it's not how dudes work, right? You're going to get into details and all kinds of awesome little deep dive nooks and crannies stuff that Jason found out about Quest for Glory while writing his awesome book. And I'll be there too for some reason. Probably just to mediate, I guess, to keep these two on some sort of a track moving forward.
Like what? Like this conversation right here that we're having now that you're not going to edit. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's a good song though.
That's fair. And then after that, because we're still not editing it, it sounded Quest for Glory-ish, right? Is that the same ringtone? We're good?
Yeah, no, it's the same ringtone.
Yeah, love a good sitar. So after that, we're going to do an episode. I'm not going to say what it's on, but it's on a LucasArts game. And you guys are going to be surprised that we did it. And it's going to be really good. And we're going to try really hard to do it justice. And then after that, I don't know, because that's already 2 episodes in advance. But yeah, so anyway, those are the upcoming episodes. Deep dive on Quest for Glory from Jason, who's writing an awesome book on it. And then a LucasArts game was after that. And then who knows? We'll probably be doing a lot of games this coming year. And yeah, and then if the listeners have any ideas that you would like us to cover that aren't game-centric, I mean, feel free to recommend games too. Luckily we have a bunch of games that we can play and cover that we haven't and need to play, etc. But if you have any ideas on shows, we could use some. So let us know.
We should make that a tier in Patreon, right? You know, if you come up with a show idea and then we could feature it on the show.
We pay you.
And then, well, yeah, that would be another way to do it. We pay with like the idea that we talk about the episode.
Yes.
That they want us to talk about because, we're Paul and Anna talking about something. I guess that's why we're all here.
Right. You pick a thing and we do the thing.
Yeah. So maybe we'll look at that.
Yeah, we should look at that. Okay. I'm going to give it back to Anna to do our little end thing. Just quickly reminder, if you played Phantom Fellows and you had a good time, please leave a review or tell people about it. And I'd really appreciate it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to sweeten the deal. If you leave a review, tell me that you did. Anywhere. Best place to get me is probably Twitter X DMs. But anyway, Facebook Messenger, in the Patreon chats, whatever. Let me know that you did, and I'll give you a free copy of the soundtrack.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good call. And if you already have a copy of the soundtrack, we can definitely thank you.
I'll show you my breasts.
The continued support, or that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine. So yeah, thank you to our Patreoners, Tim Ellis, Mick Michael Council, Mark Fillion, Jay Holmes, Gareth, Chapman Carruthers, who I don't believe I've really said your name before. So thank you so much for joining in as a true believer in the podcast, and I most appreciate it. And Brian Manown, all of you and everybody else here in Patreon, as I've said each time, continues to make it possible for us to show up and make this happen, because it's not free to put out a podcast. I wish it was. I wish it didn't cost anything at all. But thankfully, with your help, we're able to definitely make it work. So thank you again. Do you want to talk to us? We've gotten some emails. We've read them all. I'm sorry if we haven't responded, but we have talked about them amongst the two of us and enjoyed them very much. And eventually even may go farther than that. But in the meantime...
Ooh.
Ooh. In the meantime, download the Phantom Fellows on GOG, Steam, Itch, or Fireflower. Those are the places where you can get it. And then say hi to us on Twitter at CGG Podcast, or Paul at Twitter at the Phantom Fellows, Twitter at Phantom Fellows, or go to thephantomfellows.com. It's where you can link to the places to get the game. You can link to the podcast. You can link to the soundtrack, strategy guide, instructions, and all the other good stuff that you could possibly want. You can find us on Patreon at Classic Gamers Guild, like I just talked about it. On Facebook, we're a page, we're a group. There's Instagram, there's YouTube. That's it.
Sweet. I was going to say like a happy holiday thing, but you will hear from us before Christmas, because we'll be back with that Quest for Glory episode. So, in the meantime, just, keep not doing murders, but that's not the official thing though, right? You got to say the thing as it's the thing. So don't do a murder.